Hello. We'll get started in a minute. Another 3 characters today. Okay, let's get started. So we've got 3 more characters today. We're going to draw Daisy Duck, we're going to draw Apu from The Simpsons, and we're going to draw Donkey Kong holding a big barrel. So we're going to start off with Daisy Duck. She's taking up almost the full length of the paper, so it's Daisy full body, it's not just the head. And we're going to start with one of her eyes. So we've got these big eyes, and we're just going to leave the bottom of it open for now. Now Daisy has an eyelid where we have 3 eyelashes that come out of it. That's something that all of the characters that we've recently done, the female characters, they've all got these 3 eyelashes sticking out. So Daisy has this eyebrow above that, and we've got her pupil that comes down and around, and we're just going to fill that in black. Okay, so we left the bottom of that eye open. We've got Daisy's beak that comes down and it sort of comes underneath both of the eyes. So we've got this curved line, that's the top of Daisy's beak. On the other side here we've got Daisy's second eye with her pupil in there, and we can again still see the eyelid with 3 eyelashes that are sticking out, and the eyebrow comes up and around and goes behind the eye. Right in the centre, Daisy she's wearing a big bow, so we can just see the sort of knot of the bow, and then we can draw. Again, this looks a little bit like a butterfly on the top of her head. It's that type of shape. That's the kind of shape that I see it as. If you can see what I mean, it's got that butterfly type shape to it. So that's the bow on top of Daisy's head. Okay, so on the side of Daisy's head, she's got some, I guess they're little feathers. It's not fur on a duck, is it? It's feathers. That comes round and joins up to the edge of her mouth there. So let's continue this mouth down and round. And she has a little smile crease. And then we have the edge of the beak. So just watch how I'm going to draw this. So she's not quite looking straight ahead at us. Both Donald and Daisy have got this triangular shaped, I think it's their tongue. And we're going to leave the bottom of this mouth open because Daisy's holding her hands in front of her, which we'll get onto in a second. Let's draw this left-hand side shoulder in. So we've got she looks like she's wearing a blouse or something like that with sort of frilly sleeves to it. And this is the top of her arm that's visible, sticking out of that and coming into her forearm across there. So we've got at least another 3 weeks of this lockdown then, guys. So I'm guessing we're going to get another good amount of characters drawn, another 15 after this, if there's 3 a day, and we've got another, oh no, more than 15, 45 characters we're going to get, aren't we? Because we're doing 3 a day. So that's 15 a week. So make sure you send me some ideas in, because I run out of ideas. I think we're going to have about finished all of the Simpsons characters by the end of next week. So if there's something that you'd like to draw or learn to draw, then make sure you contact me. You can send me a message on the YouTube channel or on Instagram, or you can get Mum or Dad to send me a comment. So Daisy's holding her hands together. She's not quite praying, but her hands are together, sort of clasping her fingers together. And she's got like a bracelet on. I think they used to be called bangles. So it's a rather big sort of dangly bracelet that she has on, and her other arm is bent at the elbow, and she's got this frilly top on there. We can just see the edge of her shoulder in there. So Daisy's body now, it's a bent shape, so we've got a curved line and it gets slightly wider at the bottom. And that's the edge of her top, and she has this frilly kind of skirt on. And we can see her little tail with a couple of feathers sticking out at the side, and she's got these huge feet. Obviously ducks have got big webbed feet, so she has these big huge feet, but she's actually got some lovely shoes on. They look like high heels to me. So that's the inside of the shoe, the foot, and then around that we can see the edge of these shoes with a nice heel at the back there. And the other one, the legs are both pointing in the same direction on this character. So that's the inside of the shoe, and then the back of the shoe comes round, one swooping action around, and we can see the heel again on this side. It's almost a mirror image, and that to me looks about complete. So there's Daisy Duck. She looks really nice. Fab. Okay, next one. We're going to do Donkey Kong. So again, this is quite a big drawing. We're going to start with Donkey Kong's smile. We're going to work from there. So about halfway up your page, we're going to do this big grinning mouth. It's got slightly upturned edges, and we can see some teeth in there, so we're just going to make a small grid and draw the line across. So around that we're going to draw the bottom half of his chin and jaw. It comes up and around. and then we can see his two nostrils sticking up, and that joins around to there. A small detail underneath his chin there. Okay, so from here now we can start to add the eyes in. So the eyes are slightly wider than the nostril. Don't close the top off, and then we've got the pupils sort of directly on top of the nostrils. So the top of his eyebrows now swoops down. That's why we didn't close that off, and then we bring that in either side with a curved line. Now we're just going to basically follow this around, and this gives us the edge of his eyes there. So we've got some ears that sit on the side of his head, one this side and one on this side. And then the top of Donkey Kong's head, he's got this flick at the top, which looks like an ice cream cone, one of those machine ice cream cones that you get. Okay, so directly underneath the middle of his mouth, he's wearing a tie. So we're going to do the top of the tie, the knot, and then we're going to draw a wide bottom to the tie, so that type of shape. There's a little detail in there, and then there is a big D and a K. For Donkey Kong. Okay, so on Donkey Kong's carrying a big barrel. So we're going to start with the barrel, and the one end of it is as wide as his head there, and the other side is way out to the side here. So now we're just going to turn these into some ovally shapes. Don't close the top of that one out because his fingers are there holding it. So then we're just going to do another line on the inside. We can close that one out because his fingers don't quite reach that far. Okay, so we're going to bring the top of this barrel around and one in towards his head and his mouth there, and then we're just going to fill this with a few of these lines that I think they're actually metal bands that go around the barrel, because barrels are made out of wood, and these metal bands that go all the way around it keep the wood together so that you can put things in them. So there's our barrel, and let's draw his arm in this side. So we're going to almost follow the shape of the barrel around. We've got an elbow joint, and then his arm comes around there. That's the top of where his fur ends and his hand starts. So now we're going to draw these fingers that wrap around onto the barrel. So this character has got 4 fingers and a thumb, unlike the Simpsons characters that we've been doing. And we can just see his thumb poking out from there. Okay, so we didn't bring this all the way in towards his head because this is where you can see his chest. And then he has what looks like a muscle underneath there and a line for his tummy. We've got his other chest muscle coming in on this side and the start of his arm, which is really muscular. He's got a big rounded shoulder that comes halfway between the chest and the mouth, another bulge, and then his forearm. And we've got this fur across the bottom. His little body comes into there, and then we can see a leg going up on that side, which we'll finish in a second. So let's draw his hand. So his hand is made into a fist, but it's sort of pointing down to the ground. So his fingers that are bent over are resting on the ground, I guess. And just see a couple of details for his knuckles. So in here we can see a foot, and it looks similar to his hand and his arm. So he's got this fur at the top, and then we can just see a foot that bends in to there. He's got very small legs in comparison to his arms. I think that's probably how gorillas are. So his next leg is bending at the knee. And we can see this frilly part of the fur. And then this one actually, look, I guess gorillas and monkeys' feet do look a little bit like hands, but this looks more like a hand with short fingers than a foot necessarily. Perfect. I'm going to add some nostrils in there. Great. So there's Donkey Kong. Finished. Enjoyed drawing that one. That was a good drawing. Okay, so next one. Apu from The Simpsons. So he's the character that owns the Quickie Mart. And he's quite different to the Simpsons characters that we've been doing. So we're going to start with an eye. It's a small eye. It's not a 5p piece size. And you can see all of it. Now the second eye is quite a distance away. The other Simpsons characters that we've been drawing have been overlapping. So we're going to draw one on this side with that. Okay, so the nose is this shape, and then it bends up towards his eye. So he has a very thin moustache, so we're going to do two small lines underneath his nose, and then slightly wider than the eyeball we're going to do a smile crease, and then we're going to bring the jaw around. So this is very similar to the other Simpsons characters that we've been drawing. And we can see his teeth. Okay, so just below the level of the eyes, we've got an ear. And that comes down and round in towards his neck. So he has hair, a lot of black hair on this character. So we're going to fill all of this in black. So just look at the shape that I'm getting for the forehead into that. So we've got this side parting. So I'm just going to fill this out. Make sure we don't cover the ear in, because the ear is sticking out from the hair. And I say this every time, but make sure that you've got something underneath your Sharpie pen if you're using Sharpies, because they do tend to go through. Look, that's the other side of my paper, and you can see it almost looks like I've drawn on that side. And you can see on my piece of card that I've got, the ink has come through from all of the drawings we've been doing over the last couple of weeks. So back to school then on Monday, obviously not going into school, but doing your schoolwork. I know my girls aren't looking forward to that, but I guess it gives you something to do. And it looks like we've got another good week of weather ahead again, which is fab. Okay, so Apu's got a shirt on. So we've drawn a few shirts on some of these characters recently, haven't we? And we can see it on this side, curving round. And the shirt on this character is black as well. So we're just going to fill out that section. And this one. Okay. So coming down from the collar, we've got a bit of a line and then his shoulder. Now Apu's wearing a long sleeve top here, so we're not drawing that t-shirt line that we had on Bart and I think Homer as well. Now we can see the cuffs of his shirt. We can see some buttons on this shirt that he has underneath it. So Apu's hands are together a little bit like Daisy's were when we just drew Daisy. And his second hand is there. And his other arm is doing pretty much the same as the arm we just drew. That comes all the way up. And around. So his hands are together. I'm going to have the same clothing on this side. That comes up there and then that goes all the way to the top. So slightly lower than his jacket, we're going to just draw the bottom of his body, and then we've got legs that come out from there. He's wearing long trousers, long leg trousers with a slight curve at the bottom. And then we have two black shoes and they're both pointing to the right. We're going to fill those out black. There's the first one. And there's the second one. Complete. So there's Apu. So let's have a look at what we did today. So we started off with Daisy over on the left, and then we did Donkey Kong. He's probably my favourite today, actually. I like Donkey Kong. It's the first time I've drawn Donkey Kong before. And then Apu, another Simpsons character to add to our collection. So thanks a lot for watching again, guys. And don't forget to send me your pictures of your drawings on Instagram or on Facebook. You can get Mum and Dad to send it on Facebook. It's the weekend tomorrow and Sunday, so we'll be ready for another class on Monday at 1:30. Thank you for joining me, and take care of the weekend, and I'll see you on Monday.